into this. Nautilus going to be the final pick, so Renekton, do we get a Xayah pickup here? Because that was one that was taken away in the last one. And maybe getting that priority for Artemis in the bot lane. It's a big pick for them. They prioritize a lot in their drafts in the regular season. So I wouldn't be surprised to see the Xayah taken here.
Yeah, Xayah and the Kaisa both being banned in the first game. Open and available. You'd expect that to just be the trade between the two players. Artemis going with the Xayah. It has been a pick that he's looked specifically really good on. You fully expect just the trade of the AD carries here. The question is, what's the next priority for the side of CFO? They do keep toying with the idea of that Aphelios. I mean, maybe it's not as simple as I was saying.
I mean, Shunn has played the Draven very effectively. You actually got to see it in his first series as well, picking up the win there. And usually they will pair it with an aggressive support like the Blitzcrank that is actually left open for Shiauc. So potential here to try and go for that as well. And I think GB was talking about it at the desk yesterday, and I 100% agree with him. Like, I love Blitzcrank into things like the Xayah because it's that non-committal engage that makes it very easy to blow Xayah's ultimate nice and early, and then she's kind of caught between a rock and a hard place with how she can try and play out these team fights. So we'll have to see what the plan is. Gemini, though, wanting to get his hands on a bit more of an aggressive jungler where he can try and take over against BeanJ in the early stages.
Yeah, taking away the comfort from BeanJ as well. We saw BeanJ picking up that Lee Sin in the previous game, had a couple of good kicks, set up for some kills on Shunn, but wasn't enough to turn those fights. Xayah Rakan wide open though. Team Wales will be happy to grab that for themselves. And then the question becomes, what else is your priority? Things like the Jarvan still up and available. Things like the Orianna for the mid lane, or even the Ahri if Gloryy wants to go back to that.
I'm curious, yeah. I imagine Gloryy will probably take the Ahri if he can, but I actually think they'll prioritize jungle here and then move over in towards, hey, we're going to probably eat some bans on the next rotation towards mid lane and see if it's open, but not even going to be the case. So going to go towards that top lane for Sparda. So trying to see if they can get that easy pickup for Sparda. I'm not as big a fan of this because I think BeanJ is going to eat a lot of bans in this next rotation now.
Do we see it locked in though, Dagda?
He's going to do it.
Do we get it locked in once again? I mean, it's the Shiauc. It's got to be the Shiauc. We've got to believe that it's going to be the Shiauc locked in once more. And I mean, it's just a joy to see. His name is literally a Blitzcrank hook. I'm so excited. I get to cast it again.
I mean, it's so sick because he does love to play hyper aggressive. You never know when he's going to go and just go for those flash forwards. But also, like, a champion that was almost permaban against him in those playoffs. So this is something that is world-renowned at this stage for Shiauc, and especially when you're playing up against the Xayah. We just said, hey, look, that opportunity to play for these non-committal engages is going to be perfect. You got the Lee Sin as well for, hey, we burn that ultimate on the Xayah. Fantastic. Gemini, you're free to go for these crazy kick plays, so you've got that great synergy. Also, the amount of pick and burst damage is there, so a lot of what CFO are going for is actually almost like trading styles with Team Wales from the last one, where they have that pick opportunity, and it's Team Wales that are definitely setting up more for those team fights.
Bit more defensive. As the Orianna, but to be honest, it's almost surprising to see Team Wales banning the Orianna because I feel like it would fit their comp perfectly, but it's whether or not they would get it.
I actually think they want the Neeko. I think Neeko would be sick with this. When you look towards like short-range Kaisa, Lee Sin needs to go in. Even if Blitzcrank hooks you, you pop the ultimate yourself, go into Xayah's. Like, there's a lot of opportunities for Gloryy to try and play around that. And I thought when I saw the Nocturne ban, they might actually just go for the Neeko ban as well, but not going to be the case. So I think Gloryy might be eyeing up this Neeko pick here.
We'll have to see. And we could see JimieN steal the Neeko away, which would be his 4th champion so far in the tournament, I believe. If I'm not, in fact, no, I think he's played Orianna twice.
Yeah.
But the Ahri actually being eyed up instead, taking that one away from Gloryy. It does leave that Neeko wide open, though.
Yeah, it's not the... I'm kind of surprised to see JimieN go towards this. I thought maybe we'd actually get something like the... Oh yeah, okay, so they are just going to try and play for the... I mean, it makes sense with the Lee Sin and the Ahri, where you can play for this like strong mid-jungle duo. We had it for Gloryy and BeanJ. We didn't really get to see it play as effectively in the last game. So I have to see if Gemini and JimieN can step that one up. But I think if you end up going for a Neeko here, or even something like an Azir, you're actually in a relatively okay spot here as Gloryy, where you can just go, hey, well, we're just going to play for you to try and jump in on top of us, and then we'll make it. And there's a Neeko. And do we get BeanJ going back towards his root card?
See, I mean, the Jarvan's great as well. Jarvan can play so many different styles at this point. And then for rest, you look towards what's going to come out on that top side. I mean, Renekton is still available. I wouldn't mind seeing the Gnar again, to be honest. When the rest of your team is wanting to dive in like this, I feel like the Gnar fits that style in the team fight quite well.
I'm actually curious if it's going to be something like a Jax. I think if you've got this kind of pick-orientated style, playing something that's a little bit more split-push-orientated could work out. And the Gnar can work out in that scenario. Like, we've even still seen Hullbreaker and that being built on him. But I think having something that can apply that sideline pressure. Gwen, actually, fantastic pick into the... yeah, I think this is a really strong pick into the Ksante. And something that did receive some nerfs in the jungle and kind of hit the Gwen a little bit. In like lane Gwen, but still an incredibly strong pick. Great matchup into the Ksante, and does fit that role of, hey, we want to try and play a little bit for sideline pressure, because then we can get lane priority, put vision down, and then play off of Ahri, Lisa, and Blitzcrank to try and find these picks before the fight starts to kick off.
Find them. I'm excited about this CFO composition, especially after the pace of the first game. CFO playing for control, but not feeling the need to overforce anything. It felt like Team Wales slowly but surely falling out of that one. This time CFO, they've got a lot of tools to force things. They've got Shiauc on the crank, they've got JimieN with the Ahri that can fish for those charms. There's a lot of opportunity to force plays.
The thing is though, if you fall behind a CFO,
yeah,
good luck to you lads. It's not happening. Like, it's just, this is an FF go next as quick as you can. Because the Team 5 prowess that Team Wales are bringing to the table is absolutely insane. We've already saw, like, I mean, literally the PCS #1 representative play the Neeko and the Jarvan together, looking for these big circles, trying to see if they can get in and try and take the fight to you. If you ever miss position, you've already got a big tank in the Ksante as well to follow up on that incredibly well. Like, good DPS from the Xayah. Like, you have to be so incredibly careful that you are getting these early picks, these early snowballs. Otherwise, you're just going to fall so far behind.
Yeah, the late game feels tough. The one shining light maybe being that Gwen that, I mean, we've all seen what Gwen can do in a late game, but you've got to find the right situation. Even that is a dicey prospect. We'll have to see how it's going to go down, though, with PCS2 versus VCS2. Equal seeding coming into the tournament, but not necessarily equal when it comes to the history of the regions and how well they've done internationally. The PCS looking flawless, basically, so far. It's certainly in terms of results when it comes to play-ins here at Worlds 2023. CFO looking to maintain that clean record, match their first seed in PSG, and make themselves qualify into the qualification for the qualifier for Worlds.
Is that a qualifying statement? If you're gonna give me crap for the rest statement, I gotta give you some crap as well for that one. But we are rocking into game number 2 here.
I almost started applauding with the crowd then. It's like
I mean, you come from a region that does the gyos. You kind of get used to we interact with the crowd. But CFO, Shiauc stepping forward. I don't think this has been spotted. BeanJ doesn't know. Now he knows.
Certainly does. Drops the flag. Shiauc. It wouldn't have surprised me, honestly, to see Shiauc just flash to try and force the play there, honestly. Like, he's probably got Hex Flash. But don't forget as well, you can connect your League of Legends account with Prime Gaming, and you can get yourself that beautiful little Heimerdinger experimentation emote. See if you could experiment with some of the picks like we're seeing today. Rest bringing out the Gwen for maybe the first time of the tournament. I don't remember seeing it just yet. Shiauc still looking for something. Sweeping over the wall to see if someone was hiding just behind the rocks. Won't get away with it for now.
So CFO going to play this one just kind of at standard at the get-go. Looking at the bot side though, because BeanJ is actually started on the top side, it'll give a bit of an advantage to Artemis and Bait to be able to push in this wave and try and play for the level 1, although looks like they're not going to. I thought that if they wanted to try and play for the aggressive level 1, like you take W both on Artemis and Bait, means that you can play hyper aggressive level 1 in this with the Xayah and the Rakan, but you can see Q taking on towards Artemis. They're not actually looking for the trades, they're just going to look for the push instead. Not wanting to push too much in case you end up with Shiauc going for a hook underneath the tower and kind of ruining your day a little bit.
Look at the movement there. Artemis and BeanJ, the second that hook is on cooldown, they move so much further up the lane. They know that all pressure is gone from the CFO bottom lane the second that hook is on cooldown, and they immediately take that space. They'll get the level 2 first. I want to quickly mention as well, Shunn actually running the Halo Blades probably leans towards going for that lethality Kaisa that we've been seeing, and definitely leans towards the win conditions that we've been setting out for CFO.
Yeah, and I think, as you say, like, trying to play for this mid-game, play for pick, play for that burst damage is going to work out, but it does mean that rest... Oh, hang on.
Level 2 hit. Oh my god, that's a lot of damage onto Bia. Flashes away to safety. That's 2 summoners burnt on the side of Team Wales in trade for the Ignite from Shiauc.
Yeah, but the thing is now, if you're Shiauc, flash punch into the hook is going to set up an easy kill. So you can see the reset immediately coming through from BA. So he's going to be set behind in this lane. Nicely done by Shiauc to find that hook and now rest. What more can you do? Especially because we were just about to say, for rest, if he gets an advantage over Sparda, he's the one that is going to be the Sparda killer. He's the one that has to try and take them down because he's the one that will actually have some of that true damage in his kit.
Yeah, we've all seen across the course of the last couple of years what Gwen can do when you find yourself a lead, and even Ksante can't withstand that storm once Gwen gets a couple of items for herself. Definitely something to be watching. Oh, good little tangle barb from Gloryy, but took a tower shot for it, so doesn't quite end up being win.
Again, I want to try and keep our eyes on where these junglers are going though. Gemini up on the top side. Does he try and go for something on Sparda here? There. Flash Q.
I think Rest just used... Okay, Sparda dodges it. I think Rest actually just used Sparda's Q3 as a gap close and like channeled his Q while flying to get snipping onto Sparda.
Hey, if it works, it works. BeanJ though, moved down to the bot side, got Scuttle Crab, wants to try and contest for the second one here. Gemini in the vicinity. No push in mid though, makes this difficult.
Gemini knocked up here. BeanJ with the advantage in the fight. Gemini knows that he can't turn this one around. Conqueror already procced for BeanJ. Gemini just kicked out of the river.
Bit of a weird one there. I don't know, like you didn't have control over top or mid to try and go for that. And Gemini had kind of already forgone his right to go for that Scuttle Crab because he tried to make the play top side. So
yeah,
a little bit weird. But he has to come back up here despite the low health bar because Rest still in an awkward spot and he knows that BeanJ is going to be here.
Oh, Rest manages to dodge the Q3, knocked back though, and here come the junglers. Double flash from the top laners. Oh! And Gemini goes straight between the goalposts with the Q.
Yeah, Sparda was trying to predict the sonic wave that was going to come through from Gemini, flash away from that, but nearly Gemini was able to commit with the second attempt anyway. Rest now, still underneath tower. I don't think you can dive this. Safeguard are going to make this difficult.
Oh boy, they're going to go for it. Rest taken down and they make it look easy. First blood for BeanJ.
Yeah, unfortunately, Rest went away from Gemini, so Gemini not able to get the safeguard now. It's a pretty miserable shield at this stage, so gonna not turn away too much damage, but BeanJ able to flash out, so immediately getting that success for Sparda and keeping this Gwen at bay.
Gemini feeling his presence in the area would dissuade the dive, but I mean, when you're that low, you just get one shot. There's nothing that they can do about that one, and very nicely capitalized on by Team Wales. Shiauc, as soon as he presses the W, I'm like on the edge of my seat.
Yeah, he's not going to be going for too much. But again, I think this is exactly the way Team Wales want to play it. We just said, hey, Shunn is going to go towards this more Umbra Glaive, Utility style of build. So you are reliant on Rest to deal that more consistent damage against the tank. So if you're setting Gwen behind, you're going to make things a little bit more difficult for CFO as they start to go on. Even just delaying that spike from Gwen where she'll be able to take up the lane, but you can see Sparda flashes away, predicting the Q. Gemini just goes wide on the sonic wave, and then at this stage, if you're going to try and stick under the tower, I think you just full commit for Sparda. You're like, immediately try and turn this around, but you can see as Gemini actually tries to use the sonic wave on Sparda, BeanJ had gone for the flag and drag, tanks the sonic wave from Gemini, which means they can't really follow up anyway, and now Shiauc, it's going to be reinforcements for Gemini in this equation.
Yeah, they're like, okay, Gemini and Rest alone couldn't do it. Let's send the support up top as well. Sparda versus the world. Sparda literally 1 versus 300 at this point, but no, he's not because he pulls him over the wall himself. And now the hook finally comes into the play. Rest low on HP and the needlework gaining up, but it's 1-for-1 now. Gemini wants to chase on to Sparda, the Q3, but Sparda, he's on Ksante and he's looking terrified. The charm comes in from JimieN, and Shiauc gets a double kill.
Shiauc's the most bloodthirsty support on this Blitzcrank. I think he had like 4 or 5 kills yesterday as well, but kind of heartbreaking. You would have liked at least one of them to go to Gwen.
You would. The one thing I will say, at least Shiauc, he likes, A, you've got your mobility boost, that's fantastic, but B, he goes Everfrost. So actually getting a bit of early AP on the Blitzcrank isn't the end of the world.
Yeah, I mean, it'll definitely help in the burst.
It's not quite as good as Gwen, but
yeah, but I think that's it, right? Is yes, it would have been nice to get those kills across, but like 2 kills onto BeanJ means that when you end up with this matchup between the Lee Sin and the Jarvan going to be in a good spot. Shiauc, do you hook up the wall? You should hook up the wall. What a legend! What a legend!
The Shiauc rank! What do
Can
you
he get
say?
more here? Like, he's going to have Hex Flash up in a second or two. You got BeanJ there, but... Oh, sorry, Gemini there, but I think they're just going to back away from this one. Just let it go across. BeanJ didn't want to swipe because he still wanted to control it.
I'm just like looking at the minimap. Shiauc has nobody posturing like they're going to come and help him, and he's still like considering the hook on BeanJ. He's like, can I 1v1 this? Yeah, the 2 kills on the Jarvan, the 2 kills on the Blitzcrank, not quite even when it comes to damage output.
Yeah, and now as well, you've already got like bits and bobs essentially picked up for Rest, whereas when you look across the Sparda, he's well on his way towards completing the gnarly. He's well on his way to completing the Jack Show Protean or whatever. My brain's gone missing on that one, but it still means that you're going to have a great opportunity here for Sparda to just continue to pressure a little bit more in this lane before you get towards like Riftmaker and all those kind of things for Rest. So for Team Wells, it's a case of trying to keep this pressure up so then you can play for team fights, play towards the dragons you're stacking, even maybe picking up the Rift Herald here as well. Whereas for CFO, they need more of Shiauc on the map to try and turn things around.
2-2 on the scoreboard, but a bit of a lead for Team Wales. Much needed after what happened in the first game. And I have to say, good job so far from Sparda on that Ksante, getting a bit of an advantage in that top lane. It's not ahead in terms of kills, but in terms of CS, in terms of just presence there. I say that, though, we've got the ults coming out on both sides, pulled over to BeanJ. Beautifully done by Sparda.
I mean, Sparda's just setting up the alley-oop every time, and BeanJ comes in with the slam dunk. Sets him up in the brush. And Gemini now a little bit late to the party once more. And this is a Rift Herald on this top side again. Just getting more for Sparda if they really want to. It looks like they're happy just collapsing the wave. I mean, Sparda's popping off here. This is a really great 1-2 that they've been able to land.
Sparda looking fantastic, and twice with the same play, basically. Over the same wall, brings him over to the rest of his team. Shiauc, followed by a charm, but Bia, tanky enough that they can't really finish him off.
At this stage, JimieN just doesn't really have enough, especially when you've got the bone plating that's still there as well. So initial damage definitely nullified. But here again, like, this is the first play that we saw where Sparda immediately takes him to the wall, sets it up. You've got the damage because the ultimate for Sparda and the follow-up on towards Rest, especially with the flag and drag back through. And then this is where it actually got a little bit dodgy. Like Gemini, level 4 to level 6. If JimieN hadn't been here and gotten that charm, I think we might have seen a little bit more, because when you ult as Ksante, you can hop over the wall with your E. And I think that's what Sparda was setting up for. And again here, Rest pops the ultimate, thinks, okay, I can go for the trade. But it's actually the trade that comes back with Rest coming over the wall with Sparda and BeanJ once more waiting with open arms.
I will say, that's Rest with basically no items did half of BeanJ's health with the needlework and the Q. Like, once we get a bit later into the game, that's not a 2v2 that can happen anymore if Rest is in any way of a similar situation item-wise.
Yeah, it's just when you try and actually BeanJ's up here again. But it's just when you compare like Rest CS to like everyone else, right? 112 mid, 111 bot, he's only just hit 70. And so Sparda being behind is fine, as long as Rest is.
Oh, he was inside the circle, so he gets the knockback anyway. Rest in all kinds of trouble and forced underneath the tower. Q3 not available there for Sparda, so they don't get the knockback. Rest survives, but it costs him a flash.
He also taken a lot of damage. Not sure exactly what happened there, but does mean Shiauc immediately coming bot side with Gemini. Looks like they want to try and fish for Artemis under the tower. He has the flash, or has his flash, has his ult, so should be fine here.
Again, this is the power of the Blitzcrank. You might be able to just force the flash or ult, but Shiauc doesn't commit, doesn't go for it on this one. Sparda now gets a bit of time on the tower, gets to take some plates for himself. I guess to show us really what he's made of in this top side.
Yeah, I mean, in the last game, he was getting the advantage over Rest as well, so definitely having a good time in this. This one, way more help coming through from his jungler has definitely made this significantly easier. Not taking Demolish, a little bit sad, because it means that he's not actually able to get as much damage onto those turrets as he'd like, but he's still doing a fantastic job and doing exactly what he needs to, keeping Rest at bay.
Oh, dive at the bottom side. Shunn dashes away from the feathers. Bia has to back away, and Artemis realizes he can't go further, but hey, you've got the tower so low. Herald slammed down in this bottom side as well. They're actually just going to finish this tower off. This is a massive spike. Oh, no, it's not. It ain't a spike at all. The junglers here, too. They're going to have smite available. Denial from CFO.
The supports of the 9 Rift Heralds in this series has been kind of sick, as Shiauc doesn't have his hook, but just willing to step forward there, put the pressure down. And now CFO, with the tower bot lane not going down, 30 seconds until the dragon, what can they try and achieve? It needs to be some sort of pick, but again, I don't really think they're in a position to go for this. Team Wales, this is looking like a phenomenal start for the VCS second seed.
Honestly, fantastic, especially after game number 1. It's good to see them having a bit of a stronger showing here in game number 2. Just want to quickly mention the items for Shunn as well. Not going for the lethality start. In fact, going for Stormrazor with that Hail of Blades, which, you know, still has a huge amount of burst. Still going to be able to try and go for that assassination start.
I am curious if this is a pivot, essentially, from how we've seen top lane go. Now, obviously, you've pivoted fairly quickly, but I definitely think if you've gone for the lethality build and Rest is in this position, you just will never have the damage to get through Sparda as the game goes on. So I actually like the decision to try and teeter over towards a different style of build, but Rest.
Oh, Sparda's going for it. Again, the same wall, the same play, but this time does not have the damage to finish the job off. Rest to walk away with his life, the needlework, getting him a bit of sustain, but Sparda doesn't feel like he's done just yet. Might go underneath the tower here. Rest, he's all out of cooldowns, he's all out of needles, and Sparda wants to go for it. The Q3 goes wide, and I think that's enough to push him away.
Just about, but Terror, our dragon goes down, Shiauc with the hook.
Oh, looks for Artemis. Artemis is just ducking for cover. Skill shots flying in every direction.
That's like BeanJ. So you get the duck behind cover behind the Scuttle Crab to be like, I'm safe here. If that hook is going, it'll hit the Scuttle Crab. And BeanJ smites it. And then it's like, well, best of luck to you, Artemis. I hope that hook wasn't going that direction.
BeanJ, he's received a PayPal payment before. No, I'm kidding. Oh, that is a joke, guys. That is a joke.
I mean, it was nearly a close one for it, but yeah.
It was a close one.
I think the big one now is, again, Shiauc.
Just waltzes around him, not even bothered. Although, BeanJ goes for the Cataclysm here. Shiauc forced to flash. I think you're quite happy to take that trade.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say, Shiauc without a flash makes him way less lethal, gives Artemis the opportunity to take the spot lane turret. And I love the way Team Wales are playing this. They have Sparda with complete control on top side. They know that the best way for them to win out this game is try and play for objectives. Now, obviously, not getting that Rift Tower charge does suck. But in the grand scheme of things, they can start to move over towards the next Rift Tower as it starts to spawn. But I think you want to talk about something on the Master Lane?
Yeah, I mean, that's a Shiauc difference right there. That's a Shiauc diff. 660 gold for the Shiauc and the rest of the team falling pretty dramatically behind. Actually, it's worth mentioning, just in the solo lanes, look at the CS differences. 20 CS in the mid lane, 10 CS up top, and then, I mean, over 30 CS down in the bottom lane for Artemis.
Yeah, and again, I think this for CFO is a bit of a disrespectful draft, to be perfectly honest. Like, playing for pick, saying, hey, look, we can see already that you're going for this massive team fighting composition, but we'll just play for the selection of Shiauc with the Blitzcrank, see if he can find the moment that he wants to pick someone off. Same you look towards Gemini, like this was a, hey, we're just going to take what you tried to do and show you how to do it. And thus far, it has not been working out. With the Rift Tower now going to be able to move into mid lane. Look at how deep you've got BA in the enemy jungle as well. He's going to get into a position where he's looking at keeping JimieN out of the equation. Like, this is going to be a lot of hurt done.
Glory's been spotted, he's been pulled in, he's been silenced, he's been kicked back, he's been queued, he's pop blossomed, and he's, oh no, the timing of the W! It went past just a split second too soon, he's got out by the skin of his teeth.
Still though, Team Wales in the mid lane, they're going to be able to get 2 towers off the back of CFO trying to make that play, and they're going to be able to escape as well. Sparda, the TP in to save his mid laner at the perfect moment.
I cannot believe Gloryy got away with that one. And now
no.
Beer hunting for Rest, gets the charm, gets the knockup. Artemis moving in to make sure he can get the damage down. But the Shroud is too much. The TP comes out from JimieN to protect his top laner.
Good sidestep from Rest as well on the feather pullback, so it doesn't end up getting CC'd and doesn't get the majority of that damage. JimieN now will have to take towards the top side. Neeko already up here. Gloryy did TP and flash to try and get into that play. So you'll have the mid laners facing off against each other, which gives Shunn a little bit of time to try and push in the spot side, but that'll be matched by Sparda as well. So overall, a lot of trading back and forth, but Team Wales getting those 2 towers mid opens up things dramatically for them.
It certainly does. I mean, the fact that you're getting a tier 2 in the mid lane off the back of these plays, so valuable when it comes to controlling the map, especially in reference to these neutral objectives. Dragon up in a minute and a half. Baron will be on the map in 3 minutes as well. Already taking a tier 2 is just infinitely valuable.
And look at the items that we're going to have, right? You've already got Mythics pretty much completed across the board on Team Wales, apart from an IE that's going to be completed before you move over towards this next objective for Team Wales. Whereas when you look at the opposite side, it's like, okay, well, I've got the Storm Razors, I'm halfway towards a Gwynsu's, not really in a full position there. JimieN as well, only just barely completing his Everfrost as well, means that he's not in the best spots. And you can see in the golden top, like, Sparda is destroying Rest in this matchup.
It certainly is. Sparda having a fantastic game of it on the Ksante, and it feels like Ksante very much his speciality pick so far this tournament, really showing up on the pick. And it's to the point where he's going to be a threat now throughout the rest of the game. He is going to be a menace in these team fights. And it becomes difficult when, like, you know, the Gwen, when you're ahead in items or when you're even in items, you can do terrifying things. But if you're behind, it could be a struggle. Silence out from Shiauc, but he's just going to be locked up instead with the Cataclysm. Artemis can't get a range to auto, though. Shiauc gets a safeguard. He might just walk out of this one. So many escapes in this game. It's unbelievable.
The thing is, though, now that Shiauc out of the equation, Gemini has no kick, and Dragon in 10 seconds. No ultimate for BeanJ, but Gloryy is already in a position, well, moving into position with these creeps. He wants to try and make the play happen.
It's not the most convincing formation I've ever seen, especially now he's moving towards the jungle.
Yeah.
We'll see if they can count the one minion that's coming in towards the blue buff. Gemini smites away the blue. Rest will be given the other half of it, but that'll be a Drake taken, uncontested here. Team Wales now on Soul, point for that Chemtech Soul.
Yeah, I mean, Chemtech Drake isn't the strongest, but still, Team Wales are going to be pretty happy with this. And at this stage, you get to try and move into position here to look for a pick, but I don't think they're going to be able to get much.
The one thing I will say for Chemtech Soul, for Ksante, it's actually pretty great, because the whole point of your ult is you put yourself low. The whole point of Chemtech Soul is it works when you're low, so it's the perfect synergy.
And I think, yeah, that's where at least Team Wales can get a good amount of some value out of it, but still, the problem is not going to be a case of like, oh yes, Chemtech Drake is going to break open this game for Team Wales. Well, no. This game is already broken up for Team Wales. They have 3 dragons, they will get the soul, they're already super strong when it comes to team fights, and I mean, you can see the win probability powered by AWS there. Like, it's encroaching on the 90 to 95%, and I tend to agree with it here. There's very little position where CFO can find picks, can look for their opportunity to play towards their compositional strengths, as long as Team Wales go, we will push sides, we will group, and we will make sure that we're playing for these team fights consistently.
Yeah, and even in a lot of games, I'll always say, like, you know, there's a Blitzcrank, there's always a chance. But actually, who do you pull? Like, Rakan a lot of the time will get away from that or dodge it. Artemis has his ult, has his flash. Gloryy, if you pull him in, he's going to pop blossom your entire team. Jarvan, you don't want anywhere near you. Sparda, you don't want anywhere near you. There's not actually very many good opportunities for the Blitzcrank pulls. The only chance is if you get Artemis or Bia or Gloryy and immediately get that CC chain, immediately get that silence, so they don't have the chance to react.
And that's the thing, that's why I'm kind of saying CFO have missed the boat on their opportunities. They weren't able to try and play through the mid-jungle. Shiauc couldn't really get the picks. He's looking for Sparda, but there's too many members of Team Wales around the place, so they'll back off. And that's where I think at this stage, the opportunities for CFO were gone. Gloryy will spot out that Gwen was here.
Yeah, spawning with the clone, but I actually will cancel the recall. Nicely done there by Gloryy. And I will say, Team Wales came into this series as an underdog. Game number 1 got a bit smashed. Game number 2 looking really good. Team Wales came into this series against BDS. Game number 1 got a bit smashed. Game number 2 started looking pretty good. Is this the story of Team Wales? Is this who this team is?
I mean, it potentially could be at this stage, to be honest, because CFO, they've committed a lot to this top side. Team Wales trying to get members into position as well. BA, Artemis are here. I can see pings going down from CFO onto Baron. I weren't sure if they were thinking maybe Team Wales are on the Baron, but we now have very much the information that they're trying to kill JimieN.
Yeah, they want to go towards that nine-tailed fox. Slip away for now. Cunning as he is, Gemini and Shiauc, they've seen that ward. They weren't spotted by it, but there we go. They're just going to have to clear that one away for now.
I will say, though, for Team Wales, they are giving opportunities to CFO to maybe look for plays. Like Gloryy resetting there where the rest of the team are trying to make a play on the top side. It's these like little moments where maybe if CFO spot Gloryy, like resetting on a ward or anything, they can actually look for a pick. It's very hard to do in the moment because you have no idea where Gloryy is. But if they actually get into a desperate enough position where they just pull the trigger, like now.
Hook. Oh, nicely done there by Sparda. Blocks it completely. Keeps his team safe.
And also, look at the bot lane, right? You can see the ping, the assist ping going down onto Rest. Rest is just free farming this whole time. So while Sparda is kind of being positioned to go like, hey, I need to be with the team so I can match with Shiauc, Glory's kind of picking up the pieces as CFO push bot. Okay, now I'll go and deal with bot. Okay, CFO push mid, now I'll deal with mid. Always keeping that a little bit separated. Now again, you are playing for the Dragons, you are playing for the neutrals. So it's not at the end of the world as Team Wales, but you just have to be that little bit careful that you're not giving too much over to CFO.
And the one thing I will say, like, we've already talked late game compositions and kind of discussed that realistically in a team fight, Team Wales are going to have an advantage. But one thing this composition offers for CFO is outplay potential. If there's one thing all of these champions can do, it's just hand stiff your opponents. There is, like, this is the kind of opportunity that players get where, like, you're not likely to win this game as CFO, but if you do, it'll look good. This will be a montage game for them because it'll be someone absolutely popping off to win these fights.
But that's the thing, whenever there's a Blitzcrank in the game, there's always that just maybe. Like that one hook that might find B, that one hook that might find Artemis. Like, those are the difference makers. Now, with Dragon coming up in 40 seconds time, you should see Team Wales like clear out top. They haven't really got vision established on this bottom side, so maybe that gives an opportunity for a CFO to actually get in a position like JimieN can clear out this wave, maybe find an opportunity as Team Wales are establishing vision to look for a pick, but the late resets from CFO aren't really giving them that opportunity to find much opportunity for that.
Certainly not. Full item behind in that bottom lane as well. Shunn on the 2 items. Artemis has just picked himself up a more as well, so reduces some of the threat from JimieN, from rest in these team fights. And speaking of JimieN, he's under threat here. Ult for ult between the jungle and mid laner. As Sparda looks for a little bit more. Shunn forced to cleanse here as B looks for the engage on Shiauc. A pick with a kill to Artemis. A 400 gold bounty on the bird.
They're so far ahead. Team Wales, like, they immediately burn JimieN's ultimate with BeanJ, but Sparda doesn't care. He's like, come, I'm just going to literally run at you and see what I can do.
That's soul. That's literally soul off of that pick. Shiauc's gone. You can see Gemini on the top side of the map. BeanJ happy to stay up there so that there's no threat of the Baron from CFO either. The rest of the team can deal with this trade.
And then the entire time again, Glory's just picking up his little bit of CS, getting his second item completed there, and now again grouped with the team. Honestly, I could see a world where Team Wales like pushing this mid lane, start to establish vision on the top side, and again just play for these little picks. I don't think BeanJ, who was about to start up the Baron, that's the call. I think you do need to actually play this outright. I think that's the biggest problem that we saw from Team Wales yesterday against VDS, is that every time they tried to make these plays happen, they'd end up just going for these oh, that did not. Okay, we'll ignore that. I don't know what happened there, but we're about to go into the replay. But basically, they'll try and play for a push and not establish the vision correctly. But yeah, JimieN out of the equation. And look at Sparda. He's like, I don't care. You throw everything you want at me, and it's Shunn who has to cleanse, flash, and Shiauc who goes down. Like, Sparda is so massive right now, having that Gargo Stone play completed as well. Trying to deal with him is just not going to ever be an equation that's going to work out again.
Would you say that going for him is madness? Because I'd say that that's Sparda. Team Wales, though, good stuff so far. I want to play a game with you, Dagda. Because Team Wales so far have been quite...
This is already torture, you know, that horror direction.
That's a game, not torture.
Isn't that what Chucky says? Want to play a game?
Yeah. Wait, is it Chucky? Or is that's Jigsaw?
Jigsaw, sorry.
Yeah.
Our talent manager is going to murder me after this, because she's a massive horror fan.
Yeah, my partner is, I can't abide it. I'm too much of a coward. I can't bear horror movies. They're horrible. Hence the name. I want to play a game with you, though, Dagda. Not in a Jigsaw-y kind of way, in a Sparda kind of way. Rest taken down. Oh, but the Zhonya's actually buys a lot of time. And BeanJ forced to flash away. Rest still surviving with the needlework. Somehow will be finished off as he dashes away. The Q3 goes wide. And in the meantime, BeanJ's gone down. How the hell have CFO won this? And Glory's pulled in. Turns gold and keeps himself alive. Shiauc now in trouble instead. They've bitten off more than they could chew. And it's Shiauc that's chewed up instead.
Just about able to get that button back around. The Zhonya's coming in clutch, but CFO are not out of it yet. Gemini.
Oh, he missed the Krug. He's onto the Baron, and the Baron! Artemis, the god of the hunt, using the animals to his will.
Little step down from Baron. Takes out Gemini. Beautiful stuff there from Artemis to actually finish them off, and they're already on the Baron. Rest has reset though. No ultimate available. Can he make some miracle play? There's no jungler in the pit right now.
Rest versus the world here. Doesn't have needlework available either. It's a valiant attempt, and actually that went down to like 60 HP. It was a little too close, but At the end of the day, Team Wales get it. And crucially, I want to talk about the Baron power plays here. The Red Bull Baron power plays, that is. Oh, nearly got fired there for a second. And that's in that Team Wales, they've been using a lot of Barons to get their wins.
They really have been, but this was nearly a massive turnaround from CFO. Rest plays it super well, the hook over the wall from Shiauc to get onto BeanJ, and then BeanJ overextending, like really going that bit too far. And I thought that at this stage they were like, okay, Glory's gone overextended, but because they couldn't get that burst down with that stopwatch going through, it means that it actually only just sets up where CFO overextend to make the pick, and Team Wales are able to follow up.
Yeah, the Q on the Krug is just disastrous. The feathers just procking the Baron to finish the job, swats him like a fly.
Yeah, it's the casual like look over, look down for Baron and just stomp.
The claw just moved like an inch to finish it off. Gloryy, Pop Blossom comes on out. The charm does land though, and that's the damage they needed. Gloryy down, a pick for CFO, but Shunn's gone too deep and instantly answered. Rest has to carry this fight, but just doesn't have the damage. And in the meantime, Gemini stuck underneath the tower. Double kill for BeanJ. And honestly, Team Wales, they keep winning off of picks that CFO find.
It's just too late. You don't have control of the map for CFO. Every time they're gone for these plays, it's, well, look at top, it's already pushed in. Look at bottom, it's pushed in. Shiauc swings mid between the two members of Team Wales, and now Artemis stepping forward. The tower is not long.
The game I wanted to play was how many Barons did it take for Team Wales to end the game. I think it might just be one in this one, Dagda, because they are on a rampage. They are destroying CFO in this second game. Almost 10,000 going up at this point as they move up towards the top side as well. They won't be able to end the game here, but the amount of control that they have gained here, and it's crucial. Zelda's up in 90 seconds.
And this is the difference that we see from BDS yesterday versus CFO today. CFO have to make plays like this if they hope to try and win the game. And the fact that Gloryy ends up staying alive for so long, goes invisible, then you have to figure out who the clone is, makes it so that Shunn overextends, Team Wales are able to collapse. And then it's like, where the hell are you supposed to go? Sparda 1v3 on the top side is like, yeah, I got this if they even try to do anything to me. So Team Wales now back on the map. As you say, Elder in just under a minute's time. Waves pushed in mid, pushed in bot. This is not impossible for CFO to try and contest.
And now we enter the age-old conversation of Team Wales. Do not flip Elder. Do not flip it. If they are anywhere near, do not start the objective. Only do it when you have sole presence in the area. It's just not worth it. And in fact, for the time being, they're using the rest of this Red Bull Baron power play. 4,000 gold up off the back of it so far. And looking for the bottom lane. Glory's pretending to be a minion. They might just get away with something cheeky here. He's sort of stunned to the side. He's not actually autoing right now as he moves up with the wave. Shiauc in trouble, but finds a hook actually onto Sparda. They don't have much follow-up though, and Shiauc's just the one to go down instead. Who needs Elder Dragon? They'll just throw their wallets at Team Wales. It's a Pop Blossom onto one. It's 3 kills overall. It's a great little flash knockup from BeanJ as well. JimieN just doesn't have the damage. And Team Wales, they take us to 3 and they show us why time and time again, they will not be disrespected. They will not be underestimated. And they will show what the VCS is made of.
First time for Team Wales coming to the international stage, and what a performance from them in this game. We said, hey, look, you need to come in with a game plan against the composition that's been dragged from CFO. They're like, look, well, Rest could be a problem in the side lane. Let's deal with him. Get this Gwen out of the equation. Fantastic. Right, what's the next point of call? How do we try and shut down the opportunities from Shiauc? Well, let's make sure that we're able to group as a team, get the vision down, play for these early dragons, so we're forcing early objective fights, and just consistently make this game difficult for CFO.
Yeah, it felt like